Hi, everybody in first through fourth grade. That's who this video is intended for. And this video is going to hopefully really help out with the start of this school year because it's all about getting started with using Google Classroom, email, and maybe just a little bit of Google Meet, which are three of the biggest things that we really need you guys to use right from the beginning of this school year. Now, in the other video, which you should have watched already, and I'll show you where that video was, I went over how to go ahead and sign into Google, whether you are on a Chromebook or whether you're on another device, and you sign into just the Google Chrome browser. And that video was right here on my web page. Now, the video that you're watching now, it really assumes that you already are signed in. Now, maybe you're a fourth grader and you can do that on your own. Maybe you're a first grader and you hopefully have somebody help you out, or you can do that on your own. But we are going to imagine for this video that you already know how to sign into Google, so you're signed into your account, and you also added a class to your Google Classroom. So in your Google Classroom, you have one or more classes right here, and hopefully you already were able to do that. If not, like I said, please go back and watch the video that I posted to get started from the very beginning with those things right here. Okay, so we are going to pretend that you're in Google Classroom. Now, I have to say, for my first graders, my second graders, my third graders, most school years, you guys would never be doing this early in the school year. Previously at Weymouth School, we didn't even give first and second graders Google accounts. So you guys have to be like super advanced superstars and learn something really earlier and faster than anybody else in the school has in years before you. If you have older brothers and sisters, they might have not gotten their Google accounts and started doing this until third grade, and now we're having first and second graders start to do it because of the way our school needs to be set up this year and what we need to do to be able to teach you guys sometimes virtually at home and have you doing more things. So we are going to pretend that you signed into Google and you went to Classroom. So you clicked on your app browser over here and you found that icon for Classroom, and we're going to talk a little bit about Google Classroom first. So right now you see that I have this one class, and it's called Test. For you, you should have whatever year you graduate 8th grade, the computer and technology class for that year, right? And you can do a lot of those things here. For when I first go into that class, I first look at three main tabs up top: Stream, Classwork, and People. The People tab, you guys really don't need to use much at all. You barely are ever going to click on that. There are some things you can do, but we probably wouldn't even do that till future years. Pretty much everything you're going to need starts with this Stream tab right here and this Classwork tab right here. Now, what's the difference? Well, we're going to see some examples in a second, but the stream contains pretty much anything that your teacher posts. So if your teacher just wants to say, "Hi, how are you? I miss you. Hope you're having a great day," that might show up right here. If your teacher just said, "Wow, I found this really good science video and I would like my class to watch it," that might show up right here. But if you have actual work to do, where your teacher is assigning you something like a worksheet, something to type, something to fill in, something to work on, that's going to specifically show up in the Classwork tab. What makes it just a tiny bit tricky is that it could show up in the Classwork tab and the Stream tab all at once. So let's see an example of that happen, right? Right now, on a different computer that you guys can't see, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to create a post that says "Hello World." Now, that's a famous expression in computers, and you may see that in other places. If you ever see that "Hello World," you might see it on coffee mugs or t-shirts sometimes because it has a little bit of a history that's important in computer science. But in any case, I just posted that as the teacher to this class. I don't really see anything at first because first I have to update, right? Because I was in this class before the teacher, which is also me, posted that to this page right here. So how do I get it to show up? Well, there's two ways. First, you see this little pop-up that happened? Stream was updated. And then I can click on show. I might click there. If you don't see that, because there's no exact rule of how quickly that shows up. Sometimes it's like in a second, sometimes it takes a minute, but we also have this refresh button. It looks like a little circular arrow. That's called the refresh button. That's another option that you could click anytime to see if the stream or the classwork or anything has been updated. So I'm going to show right now that I just posted from my teacher account into this Google Classroom, Hello World. And Hello World is posted right here. It's not classwork. It's not something I have to do for an assignment, so it's not going to be under classwork, but it is going to be in the stream that basically gives a running list of everything that I posted. Now, let's say I do want to post something that's classwork. So right now as a teacher, and again, you can't see this and that's okay, I'm going to ask a question and I am going to say, what is 41 plus 1? Right? And I am going to ask that question and it's going to be classwork. Now, I'm saying that specifically for something that you'll see in just a second. And again, you might see that something's updated quickly. You might see that it takes a minute. But if I press this refresh button, look at that. It came up a little bit more quickly. And if I hadn't pressed it, it probably in another few seconds would have said stream has been updated. But now, in the stream, it has Hello World, which I just made as a little announcement. And it has a new question. What is 41 plus 1? Now let's look at the difference. Both of these things are in the stream, but there's only one thing that you really have to do, meaning it's classwork. It's like if you were in class and you had a worksheet, something that you actually had to work on. So if I go over to this classwork tab, and you'll see some pop-ups along the way because these classrooms are new to you and you might just want to say got it. Now there's classwork and I click on the assignment. It says what is 41 plus 1, and I can view that and then turn in my answer. For this, it's a short answer. So I could just type my answer right here, and I'm going to type 57. Oh, no, wait a minute. That would have been bad math. I'm going to go ahead and type 42. The correct answer, turn in. It's going to give me a little warning saying you won't be able to make changes to your answer after you submit. I turn it in, and now that is done. And even though you don't see it on the teacher side, I see that I've completed that assignment, or my test student here, my sample student rather, has completed that assignment. So in that class, now I completed that assignment, and I have this posting from my teacher that says "Hello World." Let's just see one other type of thing that my teacher might do. My teacher might give me classwork that is also a file, or it also has a file attached to it. All right, so now what if your teacher gives you an assignment, but instead of just a simple question, it has a file or other media or resources attached that you need to use? Well, that might look a little something like this. And these samples, you guys are actually going to practice with and try in just a little bit after you watch this video and you see it in this test class here. So, I just updated something on the teacher side, right? What you can't see when I update it as a teacher. Now I could wait for this stream to update, or let's see if I use my magical refresh button. Oh, look at this. There's a new assignment called Animal Adaptation Video. Now, I'll make just one really small note, more for parents if you're watching along. I'm not putting due dates on these as if they were real formal assignments, assessments from teachers, which is why you may not see any upcoming right here with specific due dates. If I did, or if a teacher did that, you would see those listed here. But in any case, I just created this. So both in my stream and now in classwork, there is another assignment called Animal Adaptation Video. So see, going between stream and classwork, basically anything that a teacher shares can show up in stream. In classwork specifically, it's going to give things that are assignments, things that are tasks that kids have to do. So let's take a look at this task. It says Animal Adaptation Video. It gives the instructions, watch the video linked from YouTube and then complete the worksheet in a Google Doc. So then I look below and I see that I have a YouTube video that's 11 minutes long We might need to know that for something. And then I have a worksheet. Now, this sheet, because of the way I created it, is going to be separate for every student. So when you're signed in, you go ahead and you complete it. Your other friends in class are going to have their own to complete and then turn into the teacher. So I would watch this video and then I would do this assignment. Now, I have already watched the video, so you can imagine that on your own just to make this video a little shorter here. And when I click on the assignment, it's going to open up a Google Doc. This is basically a worksheet where I can type and fill things in. And it says animal adaptation video. After you watch the animal adaptation video on YouTube, type your answers in the boxes to the right. And the first one that it says is, how long was this YouTube video? Oh, what did that say it was? 1 minute? 100 minutes? 57 minutes? I don't know. I would have to go back and look. I would have to go back and see if there's any clues I could find. Oh, wait. It said right there it's 11 minutes long. So right here, I would type in 11 minutes. And then it's going to go through these other questions, and I'm not going to fill them all in, but it's going to say, what was the Emperor Scorpion's name? How many different animals did you see in the video? What was your favorite animal? What was one of the animal's adaptations? And for each one of those, I'm filling my answer, and I'm just typing in a few quick letters to show you what I mean. I'm filling my answer in on the box to the right. And when I am done, when I've filled in everything, I'm going to go and say that I want to turn in that assignment, turn in my work. It's because it's the first time I have a couple got it's to go ahead and click on. And when I'm sure I'm finished, I'm going to click turn in. And that's going to let my teacher know that I finished that. And they can go and they can see the work that I did, see the answers that I gave. The last thing that I want to show for Google Classroom, and I actually meant to do this in the beginning, is that you can do two different types of comments. You can comment publicly on things, and you can also comment privately to the teacher. Now, what that means is that for right now, this hello world right here, one of the reasons that I typed that is that I was going to suggest that when you see this come up in Google Classroom for my class today, that everybody types some type of greeting back. So this was Mr. Henderson who posted this, and I'm a student in his class, so I might say, "Hi, Mr. Henderson." Now, I typed it right underneath of where that post is. I added that comment. I send it. And that's a public comment or a class comment. So everyone in my class, when their stream is refreshed or when they click on this refresh button, every single person in the class is going to see that I put that comment in. But let's say I had a question about that assignment that I needed to work on, this animal adaptation video. Let's say that I clicked on this. I went to do it, and oh, it actually came up with a pop-up with exactly what I'm talking about. I had a comment, but I didn't want to put it here in class comments where everybody could see, because maybe I thought that it was just about something that I did or just about something that I wanted or wanted to know, and nobody else would have the same information, or I was talking about something I didn't want to share with everybody. I might say, "Mr. Henderson, I was really scared of that porcupine." And Mr. Henderson cannot talk and type at the same time. I'm usually much better at typing. But I'm saying, "Mr. Henderson, I was really scared of that porcupine. Can you please not have any more assignments with scary porcupines?" And then I can send that off as a private comment. And that way, my whole class doesn't need to know that. I just sent it to my teacher. And me, as the teacher, Mr. Henderson, I would be able to see that. I would be able to reply to it. And whether it be right here as a private comment or over in Google Classroom, back where we had our public comments on the different things, we would be able to communicate, respond to questions and things as a class. So that's a little bit about Google Classroom. What I would like you to do right now is, now that you've watched this video and seen it, and we've gone really slow through Google Classroom, go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead and go into the Google Classroom for your particular grade level of computer class, and you'll see the same basic things that I just posted for that test class that I was using, and I was able to show you guys in the video. I want you guys to go ahead and give it a try, and that's the first assignment for today. All right, we're going to check back with a second video about email and Google Meet after this.